I work the night shift at Ravenfall Transit Control, a facility most people don't know exists. It isn't a station. No trains stop there. It's a coordination hub buried beneath the edge of the city, where routes are monitored, signals are synchronized, and everything is supposed to stay predictable. Predictable is comforting when you're awake at night alone. I'm 46 years old. I like systems, timetables, repetition. I trust things that follow rules. That's why, when the sound first appeared, I assumed it was mechanical. Every night at 2:41 a.m. exactly, I heard footsteps in the service corridor outside the control room. Not echoes, not vibrations, footsteps. They started near the emergency stairwell and moved toward my door, slow, measured, evenly spaced. They stopped directly outside the glass panel. Then, nothing. The first night I didn't look up from my console. Facilities like this settle, pipes expand, concrete breathes. I told myself the same thing I'd told myself for years. But machines don't walk, and machines don't keep time like that. By the fourth night, I was waiting for it. My hands would pause over the keyboard at 2:40. My eyes would drift to the clock mounted above the signal board. 2:40 and 59 seconds, 2:41 and 0 seconds. The first step always landed right on the minute. There were 9 steps. I counted them because I needed something solid. 9 was manageable. The corridor between the stairwell and my door measured 8 floor panels. I'd installed them myself during a renovation. 8 panels, 9 steps. That extra step sat in my head all night, pressing inward. I asked maintenance if anyone else worked late in the lower levels. They laughed, said I was the only one who still volunteered for nights. Said security cameras showed nothing but empty concrete and flickering LEDs. When I asked to review the footage myself, they let me. At 2:41 a.m., the corridor camera glitched, just for half a second, long enough to miss whatever passed through. By the second week, my body started waking on its own. I'd open my eyes in the dim control room, heart already racing, a full minute before the sound began. Like some part of me knew before the rest caught up. The footsteps didn't rush. They never hesitated. Hard soles, familiar cadence. Too familiar. I realized one night with a slow, cold certainty that they matched my own stride. Same spacing. Same pause between steps. I tested it earlier that evening, walked the corridor alone, counting under my breath. 9 steps. I laughed at myself afterward. Nervous laughter, brittle. People do that when they're trying not to admit something. I stopped taking calls. Stopped correcting minor signal delays. My supervisor noticed. Asked if I needed time off. I almost told him. But how do you explain that something is walking toward you every night from a place that doesn't exist, using your own footsteps? On the 19th night I spoke. The footsteps reached the door. Stopped. The glass panel reflected my own pale face, eyes too wide. I whispered, barely louder than the hum of the servers. "Who's there?" The reply came immediately. Not from the hallway, from behind me. In my own voice. Just finishing my rounds. I didn't turn around. I couldn't, because the voice sounded tired. The same tired I felt. And because the footsteps started again, but this time they were moving away from the door. The next morning I requested a transfer. Different shift. Different building. Anywhere above ground. Approval came faster than I expected. On my final night I stayed late. I wanted to see it. To prove I wasn't imagining the gap. The missing panel, the impossible step. At 2:41 the footsteps came. 9 steps. I stood up, opened the door. The corridor was empty, lights steady, air still. Relief hit me so hard my knees went weak. I laughed. Then I heard the control room door close behind me. Through the glass I saw myself sitting at the console, relaxed, focused, typing with confidence I hadn't felt in weeks. He looked up, smiled, not cruelly, patiently, like someone settling into a familiar job. I pounded on the glass, shouted. He didn't react. The clock ticked over. 2:42 a.m. The footsteps sounded again, inside the control room now, walking away from me. Security found the facility functioning perfectly the next morning. Signals aligned. Logs complete. They assumed I'd left early. No one questioned why my badge access stopped registering from that point on. No one noticed the extra step. I'm still here, somewhere between the stairwell and the door, listening, waiting for the next shift to start, because the system needs someone to walk the corridor, and it always makes room for one more step. Thank you for listening. If this story followed you longer than expected, then it did its job. New stories are always waiting. In the silence, in the shadows, just out of sight. Until next time, keep your lights low and your doors locked. See you in the next video.